Tonight, you're about to embark on a journey that will transform the way you understand not only the world around you, but also the depths of your inner self. This evening, we will explore a powerful secret that Buddhist monks have used for centuries to quiet the restless mind and find deep, meaningful rest. A secret that goes beyond meditation, beyond the spoken word, into the very essence of human connection. What if I told you that you already know how to read minds, but you've simply never realized it? Tonight, we will uncover 9 subtle signs that you're already tuning into the thoughts, emotions, and intentions of others through the ancient art of presence, stillness, and silent observation. Not through guessing games or psychological tricks, but by listening with your whole being, observing the body, the eyes, the gestures, and the silence that speaks louder than words. So make yourself comfortable. Adjust your pillow. Let your body become heavy against the bed. Take one deep breath with me now. Inhale slowly, filling your lungs with peace, and exhale softly, letting go of any tension in your body. Let the weight of your thoughts melt away as we begin this tranquil journey. Before we settle in, feel free to like and subscribe, only if this space brings you peace. And if you're joining us from somewhere around the world, I invite you to share your location and your local time in the comments. It's always beautiful to witness how far and wide this circle of quiet connection reaches. In this moment, I invite you to trust that this path of understanding others through the language of their actions can bring you peace and clarity. By the end of our time together, you'll not only recognize these 9 signs in your everyday life, but also gain new dimensions of self-awareness and mindfulness. Allow yourself to relax, to stay present, and most importantly, to remain curious. Trust that every story we unfold tonight will bring you closer to this hidden wisdom. To begin with the first sign, let me share with you a story from ancient Buddhist teachings, a tale of a blind man who, though unable to see with his eyes, could perceive far more than those who had vision. He saw with his heart, with his awareness, and with his deep connection to the true nature of things. Now dim the lights, maybe light a candle or incense, and let's wander into stillness together. A long time ago, in a small village nestled between the mountains, there lived 2 brothers. The older brother was blind, and although he could not see, he was known for his deep wisdom. The younger brother, though able-bodied, was a farmer struggling with the constant destruction of his crops by wild animals that roamed the fields. One day, the younger brother, frustrated and desperate, came up with an idea. Why not ask my older brother for help? He thought. Though he cannot see, he has a deep understanding of the world around him. Perhaps he can hear the animals or sense their movements in a way I cannot. So the younger brother built a small hut in the middle of the field and asked his blind brother to sit there. He explained the situation. Whenever you hear an animal approaching, please shout so we can scare them away and save our crops. The older brother agreed, and for many days he sat in the field listening. He would hear the rustling of the grass, the whispers of the wind, and sometimes the faintest of movements. Whenever he heard an animal, he would shout, and the animals would scatter. It seemed to work perfectly. But one day, something extraordinary happened. A deer ran through the field, breaking the fence as it passed. Not long after, a king who was hunting the deer arrived at the field. Seeing the blind man, the king asked, "Have you seen a deer pass through here?" The blind brother, with great calm, replied, "Your Majesty, I am blind. I cannot see, but I can tell you that the animal that passed is not worth chasing." The king was puzzled. "How can you know this? How can you know whether the animal is worth pursuing or not?" The blind brother simply responded, "What you are chasing is not a deer at all, but a pregnant doe. I can tell by the sound of her movement. She is carrying young, and I doubt a king would waste his time hunting a pregnant doe." The king, astonished by these words, ordered his commander to follow the deer and confirm what the blind man had said. When the commander returned, he reported that the blind brother was right. The doe was indeed pregnant. The king, even more amazed, asked the blind man, "How did you know this? You cannot see. How did you discern the condition of the animal?" The blind brother smiled and replied, "Though I am blind, I am not blind to the subtleties of the world. I do not need eyes to see. I listen. I pay attention to the rhythms of life, the sounds of nature, and the movements of creatures. In this, I can understand things that others cannot." The king, still in awe, continued, "But you have spoken wisely and deeply about matters beyond sight. Tell me, what more can I learn from you?" The blind brother responded, "Your Majesty, if you wish to understand the minds of others, you must first learn to quiet your own mind. Only then will you be able to perceive the true nature of those around you. The world speaks to us not just with words, but with every movement, every glance, every shift in the air. The mind can understand these signals, but only if we quiet our thoughts and pay attention to the language of the world." And so the king, deeply moved by the wisdom of the blind brother, vowed to practice listening deeply, not just with his ears, but with his heart and mind, learning to understand the silent language that all beings communicate through. This story is a beautiful reminder that perception goes far beyond the limitations of our senses. In the modern world, we often rely on our five senses, sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell, to navigate and make sense of the world around us. We look, we listen, we feel, we taste, and we smell, believing that these are the primary ways in which we understand the world. But what if there was a deeper, more profound way to perceive the truth of others and the world around us? This story of the blind brother serves as a powerful reminder that true understanding of others does not come solely from our eyes or any of the physical senses, but from something far more subtle: our awareness, our presence, and our ability to truly listen. The blind brother did not need sight to understand the world. He relied instead on his attention, his mindfulness, and his deep awareness of the present moment. His perception was not bound by the limitations of his physical body. Rather, it transcended those limitations through the power of his mind and spirit. He had learned to observe the world, not with his eyes, but with his heart and his awareness. This is the essence of true mindfulness, living in the present, focusing on what is happening around us without judgment, and embracing the subtle signals that speak to us in every moment. How many times have we found ourselves in situations where we have seen but not truly noticed? We may look at something, but our mind is preoccupied with other thoughts, concerns, or distractions. We may hear someone speaking to us, but we are not fully listening. We are already thinking about what we will say next, or about our own worries. The blind brother, on the other hand, was not distracted by external stimuli. His world, although devoid of sight, was rich with the subtle energies and messages that others might miss. His ability to perceive was not limited by sight, but enhanced by his ability to be fully present in the moment. The beauty of this story lies in its reminder that true understanding does not come from our eyes alone. Our eyes can deceive us, showing us only a small fraction of the larger picture. We may see someone's face and think we understand their emotions, but what about the subtle shifts in their body language, the tone of their voice, the way their breath catches when they speak? or the slight change in the energy around them. These are the signals that the blind brother understood, and these are the signals we can also learn to read, if only we learn to truly be present and to listen with more than our ears. As you listen to this story, take a moment to reflect on your own habits of perception. How often do you truly listen, not just with your ears, but with your entire being? How often do you allow yourself to be fully present, to be open to the subtle nuances that others are trying to communicate, even without words? Think about the people in your life, the conversations you've had, and the moments you've shared. How many times have you been physically present, but mentally or emotionally absent? It's easy to think we are listening when in reality our minds are elsewhere. We may hear the words being spoken, but the deeper messages, the hidden emotions, or the unsaid thoughts may pass by unnoticed. This story invites us to ask ourselves, how often do I truly pay attention, not just to the words someone is saying, but to the unspoken language they are conveying? How often do I notice the small gestures, the subtle shifts in energy, or the changes in someone's posture that reveal what they are truly feeling? Our world communicates with us in ways that go far beyond spoken language. Through body language, facial expressions, eye movements, and even silence, people are always communicating their thoughts and emotions. But do we notice? Do we listen with the same intensity that we listen with our ears? Are we paying attention to the language of the heart, the subtle cues that speak volumes? If only we open ourselves to them. The blind brother teaches us that true understanding comes not from seeing with our eyes, but from listening with our hearts and minds. He teaches us to look deeper, to see beyond the surface, and to perceive the world through the lens of awareness and presence. This is not a skill that can be learned overnight, but it is something that we can cultivate with practice. The more we bring our attention to the present moment, the more we can tune into the subtle signals around us and truly understand the thoughts, feelings, and needs of others. This is a practice that requires patience, mindfulness, and the willingness to let go of our distractions. Now let's take a moment to practice being present. Close your eyes, and as you listen to the sounds around you, notice how the world communicates with you. What sounds do you hear? Are they loud or soft, distant or close? Perhaps you hear the rustling of leaves, the hum of the air conditioning, or the sound of your own breath. Each of these sounds carries information about the present moment, about your surroundings, the environment, and your state of being. Pay attention to the quality of these sounds. How do they make you feel? Are they calming, soothing, or unsettling? Can you tune into the silence between these sounds and notice the stillness that exists all around you? As you continue to listen, notice any subtle shifts in your environment. The temperature of the room, the feel of the air on your skin, the subtle movement of the world around you. These are all messages speaking in a language that we often overlook. Allow yourself to focus on these signals and see if they help you understand something deeper about your environment or yourself. Perhaps you will notice something that you haven't before, a small detail that gives you a greater sense of peace, understanding, or clarity. This exercise is not just about listening with your ears, but about being fully present, aware of the entire environment and your own feelings. This mindfulness practice can help you cultivate the same awareness that the blind brother had, allowing you to truly listen to the world and the people around you with more depth and insight. As we continue on our journey together, let's carry with us the wisdom of the blind brother, he who saw with his heart and listened with his spirit. By practicing mindfulness, we can begin to perceive the world in a more profound way, connecting with the unspoken language of life itself. Let this be the first step on our path to understanding the minds of others. With each story, we will build on this foundation, learning to read not only the visible world, but the invisible world of emotions, thoughts, and energies that shape our experiences. Let's now move forward into our next story, where we will explore how the eyes, the windows to the soul, speak a language all their own. It is often said that the eyes are the most powerful and revealing feature of a person, capable of communicating emotions and intentions far beyond what words can convey. In this section, we will explore how the eyes serve as a silent language that can unlock the true thoughts and feelings of others. By observing the subtle movements and shifts in someone's gaze, we can understand much about what they are experiencing within themselves. Let me share with you a story that will guide us into this realm of silent communication. Many years ago, in a tranquil village nestled in the mountains, there was a young monk who sought the guidance of a wise and elderly master. The young monk, eager to learn, approached his master with a question that had been weighing heavily on his mind. "Master," he asked, "how can I truly understand what others are feeling? How can I read their hearts and minds, especially when they do not speak?" The elderly master, with his deep wisdom and calm presence, looked at the young monk and said, "The answer you seek lies in the eyes." The young monk was confused. "The eyes? But how can the eyes reveal the heart?" The master smiled gently and led the monk to the village square where many people were gathered. He instructed the young monk to simply observe the people for a few moments. "Look carefully," the master said. "Watch their eyes, and you will begin to see what they are feeling." The young monk watched closely, his eyes scanning the crowd. At first he saw only the surface people talking, laughing and walking about. But as he focused more intently on their eyes, something began to change. He noticed how one woman's eyes were filled with sadness despite the smile on her face. Another person's eyes darted nervously as they spoke, betraying their unease. A child's eyes gleamed with joy, sparkling as they played with their friends, while an older man's eyes were tired and heavy, filled with a quiet sorrow. After a while, the monk turned to his master and said, "I see it now. The eyes truly do speak louder than words." The master nodded, his eyes filled with kindness. "Yes, my young friend. The eyes are a reflection of the soul. They reveal our innermost feelings, thoughts, and desires. The eyes do not lie, they convey everything we cannot say. If you wish to understand others, deeply learn to read the language of the eyes." As the story unfolds, we see the deep wisdom contained in the master's words. The eyes, though often overlooked, are one of the most significant forms of nonverbal communication we have. They are the windows through which we perceive the world and connect with one another, often more profoundly than we realize. It is easy to forget just how much the eyes reveal about the inner workings of a person's heart and mind. From the joy that sparkles in someone's gaze to the sorrow that flickers in their eyes, from the calm stillness of someone at peace to the anxiety that makes their pupils dart nervously, the eyes are an unspoken language. They tell stories sometimes more honestly than words ever could. We may be adept at verbal communication, but nonverbal cues like the eyes provide a much deeper, more intimate understanding of another person's feelings and emotions. Consider how the blind brother in the previous story was able to understand the world around him, not by relying on his sight, but through his attention, his mindfulness, and his deep awareness of the present moment. His ability to read the world came not from his eyes, but from his ability to listen with more than just his ears. He had learned to tap into an inner sense, a heightened awareness of the world beyond the obvious something we all can cultivate. Just as he understood his surroundings through his other senses, we too can develop a deeper understanding of others by learning to read the silent language of the eyes. In many cultures, the eyes are considered the windows to the soul. They reveal far more than the mere surface-level appearance of things. With just a glance, a person's eyes can speak volumes about their emotional state, their desires, their fears, and their intentions. Through the eyes, we can sense unspoken truths and glimpse into the core of someone's being. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and instantly known that they were hiding something? Or perhaps, on the contrary, felt a deep sense of honesty and openness emanating from them? That's the power of the eyes. They communicate things that words cannot express. The beauty of this silent language is that it transcends barriers. Language, culture, and context may obscure our understanding of one another, but the eyes cut through these barriers and reveal something universally human. We all understand what it means to look into someone's eyes and recognize their feelings. This is why the eyes are often said to be the most revealing part of the face. While we may mask our emotions with words or gestures, our eyes cannot lie. They are, in a sense, the most honest part of us, giving away what we feel inside even when we try to hide it. As you reflect on this story, I invite you to ask yourself, how often do I truly look into someone's eyes when I speak with them? How often do I take the time to observe the subtle shifts in their gaze, their pupils, and their facial expressions that reveal what they are feeling? The next time you interact with someone, take a moment to focus on their eyes. Watch for the way their pupils dilate or constrict, the way their eyelids flutter or tighten, the way their gaze shifts from one thing to another. Are they calm? Are they restless? Are they excited or withdrawn? These small shifts in their gaze are like windows into their emotional world, giving you insights into their current state of mind. It's easy to get caught up in the noise of words, especially in a world where we are often surrounded by constant communication. But the eyes speak to us in silence. They can tell us things that words might fail to convey. How often do we pay attention to the silent messages someone is giving us through their eyes? Perhaps we are too focused on what they are saying, or too distracted by our own thoughts to truly see the emotional signals they are sending. But by taking a moment to truly look into someone's eyes, we can develop a deeper understanding of who they are, what they are feeling, and what they are trying to communicate. Think about the people in your life, your friends, family members, colleagues, and consider how often you truly look into their eyes. Do you see the emotions they are trying to hide, or the joy they are trying to share? Do you notice the way their eyes shift when they are uncertain, or the way they light up when they are passionate about something? The next time you are in a conversation, take a deep breath and really look. Pay attention to the small shifts, the changes in their gaze. What do their eyes tell you about how they are feeling? And how does that knowledge change the way you respond to them? The next time you are in a conversation, try to let go of any judgments or assumptions and simply observe what is present in the moment. What do you notice in their eyes? What are they communicating to you without words? Over time, you will begin to develop a heightened sensitivity to these subtle signals. This sensitivity will not only help you understand others better, but it will also help you connect with them on a deeper level. You will be able to navigate your relationships with greater empathy and compassion, because you will be able to recognize what is truly happening inside the other person. The eyes have a powerful way of bridging the gap between people, allowing us to connect with one another on a soul-deep level. Now let us take a moment to practice this awareness. Find a quiet space where you can sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Allow yourself to relax and settle into the present moment. When you feel centered, open your eyes and begin to observe the world around you. Notice the eyes of those you encounter. Whether it's someone you know or a stranger, try to observe their gaze with full attention. Are their eyes wide, filled with wonder, or perhaps surprise? Or are their eyes narrow, indicating suspicion or discomfort? What emotions are conveyed through their pupils? Are they dilated, indicating excitement or attraction, or constricted, suggesting fear or uncertainty? As you observe, notice what feelings arise in you. How do you feel when you look into someone's eyes and see that they are happy or calm? How do you feel when you notice that they are anxious or upset? What emotions does their gaze stir in you? Allow yourself to stay present with these feelings and pay attention to the subtle shifts in their eyes as they shift through different emotional states. Over time, with consistent practice, you will begin to read people's emotions through their eyes with greater clarity. You will start to see beyond the words they speak and into the deeper, often hidden layers of their inner world. This ability is not limited to people you know. It extends to strangers as well. The more you tune into the eyes, the more you will understand the unspoken language that connects us all. You will learn to perceive the nuances of emotions, desires, and intentions, all of which can enrich your interactions and deepen your connections with others. As we continue on this journey of understanding, let us carry with us the wisdom of the monk and his master, who taught us that the eyes are not just the windows to the soul, they are the windows to deeper understanding. By learning to read the silent language of the eyes, we can move closer to understanding the hearts and minds of those around us. Now let us move forward into our next story, where we will explore the powerful language of facial expressions and how the subtle movements of the face reveal the innermost workings of the mind. The face, like the eyes, speaks volumes about a person's emotions, thoughts, and inner world. In many ways, our facial expressions are like an open book revealing our true feelings, even when our words may be hiding them. A smile can radiate warmth and kindness, while a furrowed brow may express confusion or concern. The subtle movements of the face, though often fleeting, are some of the most honest and revealing forms of communication we possess. Let me share a story that demonstrates the profound significance of facial expressions and how they can provide a direct connection to the emotions we carry within. In a small village near the edge of a dense forest, there lived a wise teacher who was known for his kindness and wisdom. He was a man who could see the true nature of people, not just by their words, but by their actions, and most importantly, by their facial expressions. One day, a young student came to the teacher with a heavy heart seeking advice. The student was struggling with his emotions, unsure of what to do with his life, feeling lost and disconnected from those around him. "Master," the student said, "I feel that no one understands me. I try to speak to others, but it seems that they do not listen. I am surrounded by people, yet I feel alone. How can I make them understand me?" The teacher, with a gentle smile, invited the student to sit with him under a large, ancient tree. The teacher then asked, "Tell me, my young friend, how do you speak to others? What do you say?" The student replied, "I try to tell them what I am feeling, but they do not seem to understand. I speak of my troubles and my heartache, but they look at me with confusion, or sometimes they turn away." The teacher nodded thoughtfully and then asked, "What is the expression on your face when you speak?" The student was taken aback by the question. "I do not know," he replied. I suppose I do not pay attention to it." The teacher smiled again and said, "Let me show you something." He took the student to the village square where a group of people was gathered. "Watch their faces," the teacher instructed. "Look at the expressions they wear. What do you see?" The student observed, carefully watching the faces of the villagers as they interacted. He saw how the old woman's face brightened with warmth as she greeted a friend, how the merchant's brows furrowed in concentration as he haggled over a price, and how the child's face beamed with innocence and joy as they played. The student realized that the faces of the villagers were not just blank canvases. They were filled with emotions that told a story, whether through the slightest flicker of an eyebrow, the way the lips curled into a smile, or the way the eyes softened in understanding. "Now, my friend," said the teacher, "look at your own face. What does it say?" The student paused his hand unconsciously, reaching up to touch his face. As he focused on his reflection, he noticed something remarkable. His face was often tense, his brows furrowed with worry, his lips set in a thin line. He realized that even though he had been speaking to others about his feelings, his face was not reflecting the openness or vulnerability he wished to convey. Instead, it communicated tension, distance, and perhaps even reluctance. He had been so caught up in his words and what he wanted to say that he had neglected the silent language of his face. The teacher smiled gently. "You see, my student, the face is the first thing people notice about you. It is the first message they receive. If you wish to connect with others, you must learn to speak not only with your words, but with your face as well. The face can convey warmth, empathy, and understanding long before any words are spoken. By opening your heart through your expression, you allow others to meet you where you are, and in return, they will open their hearts to you as well." The student listened attentively, deeply moved by the teacher's wisdom. "But Master," he asked, "how can I change the way I express myself? How can I make my face reflect the warmth and openness I feel inside?" The teacher replied, "Start by paying attention to your emotions. When you feel joy, let your face express it. When you feel sadness, allow your face to reflect that too. Your face is a mirror of your soul, and it will speak the truth if you let it." As you listen to this story, take a moment to reflect on your own facial expressions. How often do you pay attention to the messages your face is sending to others? Just as the eyes are windows to the soul, the face is a canvas that conveys the full range of human emotions. Think about how you express yourself when you are happy, sad, angry, or excited. Do you allow your face to show what you are feeling, or do you mask your emotions behind a neutral or closed expression? The next time you find yourself in a conversation or a moment of interaction, take a moment to observe your own face. What does it communicate? Are you conveying warmth, openness, and understanding, or is your face closed off, distant, or guarded? How might your interactions with others change if you allowed your face to express the emotions you are truly feeling without fear of judgment or rejection? We all have the ability to communicate more deeply by simply allowing our facial expressions to align with our inner emotions. When we soften our face, when we smile with genuine warmth, or when we allow our eyes to convey understanding, we invite others to do the same. It is through these expressions that we build connection, empathy, and trust with those around us. Now let's take a moment to practice this awareness. Find a mirror or a quiet space where you can sit comfortably. Take a deep breath and relax your face. Let go of any tension in your forehead, your jaw, or your lips. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the muscles in your face soften. Now open your eyes and gently smile at yourself. Notice how it feels in your body when you smile. Does it bring a sense of ease, a sense of openness, a sense of connection to yourself? Next, think of a recent experience where you were feeling strong emotions, joy, sadness, frustration, excitement, and observe how your face reflected those emotions. Did your face express what you were feeling, or did you hold back, unsure of how to express your emotions? This exercise is an invitation to reconnect with your face, to let it mirror the truth of your inner world. Over time, as you become more aware of your facial expressions, you will find that they will naturally reflect your emotions more fully, and your ability to connect with others will deepen. The face is not just a vessel for communication, it is an invitation for others to connect with us on a deeper level. Let's carry this wisdom with us as we move forward on our journey of understanding, using the language of the face to speak the truth of our hearts. Now let us move forward into our next story, where we will explore how body language, sometimes even more subtle than facial expressions, can reveal the innermost workings of the mind. While facial expressions and the eyes are powerful indicators of what is going on inside, body language speaks volumes as well. It is often said that actions speak louder than words, and our bodies have a remarkable way of communicating emotions, intentions, and attitudes that words cannot fully capture. The subtle shifts in posture, the way we move, how we use our hands, and even the distance we keep from others, these are all parts of the silent language of body language. Let me share a story that illustrates just how much we can learn from the unspoken signals conveyed by the body. Many years ago, in a serene monastery nestled on a mountain, there was a young monk who was eager to learn the ways of wisdom and peace. He had studied the sutras, meditated daily, and practiced mindfulness in every moment. Yet despite his dedication, he felt that something was missing. He wanted to deepen his understanding to truly grasp the essence of wisdom, but he could not quite reach it. One day, he approached his teacher, an elderly monk, known for his profound silence and deep insight. The young monk asked, "Master, I have studied so much and practiced diligently, but I still feel as though something is missing. How can I truly understand the way of the world?" The elderly monk, with a gentle smile, motioned for the young monk to follow him. Without saying a word, he led him to the courtyard of the monastery, where they found a group of monks sitting in meditation. As they stood there, the elderly monk pointed to one of the monks who was sitting perfectly still with his eyes closed, his hands resting gently on his lap and his posture upright and composed. The young monk asked, "Master, what is it about this monk that you want me to see?" The elderly monk did not respond with words, but instead walked quietly towards the monk in meditation. As the young monk followed, he noticed the way the seated monk's body was aligned, how his shoulders were relaxed, how his breath seemed to flow effortlessly in and out, and how his body appeared in perfect harmony with the surroundings. The monk's entire being radiated a calm, still energy, as though every part of him was deeply connected to the present moment. After a long moment of quiet observation, the elderly monk spoke softly. "Look closely. The body is not just an instrument for action, it is a reflection of the mind. When the body is still, the mind is still. When the body is calm, the spirit is calm. Observe how the body expresses the tranquility of the mind, how the body speaks without saying a word. The true wisdom you seek is not found only in your thoughts or your words, but in the silent language of the body." The young monk, deeply moved by the wisdom in the monk's silence, took a moment to reflect. He had often focused so much on his thoughts and on the words of the sutras that he had overlooked the way his own body spoke to him and to others. He realized, that true wisdom could not be confined to words alone. It could also be experienced in the stillness and movement of the body. As you reflect on this story, consider your own relationship with body language. How often do you pay attention to how your body communicates in the world? How does your posture shift when you are happy, stressed, anxious, or confident? Do you notice how others' bodies speak to you often without them saying a word? The story of the silent monk reminds us that the body, like the face and eyes, holds a deep wisdom. It is often the way we sit, stand, or move that reveals the truth of our emotional and mental state. Think about a recent interaction you had with someone. How did their body language influence how you perceived them? Did their posture seem open or closed? Did they lean forward, indicating interest? Or did they cross their arms, suggesting defensiveness or discomfort? Often we understand others' emotions not through their words, but through the subtle movements of their body. These small but powerful signals allow us to gauge whether someone is truly at ease or if they are holding something back. How often do we stop to observe our own bodies in moments of emotion? When we are stressed, anxious, or angry, do we notice how our body tenses, how our muscles tighten, or how our posture shifts? Understanding our body language is just as important as understanding the body language of others. By becoming aware of how our bodies express our emotions, we can learn to cultivate more mindful responses, allowing us to stay present and grounded in the face of challenging situations. Now let us take a moment to practice being more aware of our own body language. Sit comfortably in a chair or lie down and take a few deep breaths. As you relax, bring your attention to the sensations in your body. How does your body feel in this moment? Is there tension anywhere, such as in your shoulders, neck, or jaw? Take note of any areas where you may be holding stress or discomfort. As you continue to breathe deeply, allow these areas of tension to soften and release. Now slowly begin to notice the way your body is positioned. Are you sitting upright or are you slouched? Are your arms open or are they crossed in front of you? Pay attention to how your body feels in different states of emotion. How does your posture change when you are feeling confident or when you are feeling anxious? When you are happy, do you notice that your chest opens and your shoulders relax? When you are sad, does your body tend to shrink inward as though you are trying to protect yourself? This exercise can be done throughout the day at any moment. The next time you are having a conversation or going through a stressful moment, take a moment to pause and check in with your body. Notice how your body responds to the situation. Are you tense or relaxed? Are you leaning in or pulling away? The more you practice this awareness, the more you will begin to notice the subtle signals your body is sending. By becoming more attuned to your body language, you can better understand your own emotions and the emotions of others. In our daily lives, we often overlook the power of body language, but it plays a crucial role in our interactions. By learning to observe and understand body language, both our own and that of others, we can deepen our connections, enhance our communication, and navigate the complexities of human relationships with greater empathy and awareness. As we continue on our journey, let us carry with us the wisdom of the silent monk, who taught us that the body speaks a language all its own. By paying attention to the subtle movements and postures of those around us, we can unlock a deeper understanding of their thoughts and feelings, moving beyond words into the silent world of body language. Let's now move forward into our next story, where we will explore how subtle shifts in breath and voice can reveal even more about a person's emotional state and inner world. These elements, often overlooked in our everyday communication, hold an extraordinary power in conveying emotions, intentions, and states of being. Just as our body language and facial expressions speak without words, the way we breathe and the tone of our voice can reveal much about our inner state. Our breath is intimately connected to our emotions, and our voice carries the energy of our thoughts and feelings. Let me share a story that illustrates the power of breath and voice in conveying the truths of the heart. In a quiet village nestled along the banks of a serene river, there lived an elderly sage who was known for his deep wisdom and gentle spirit. People would travel from far and wide to seek his counsel, hoping to find clarity and peace in their troubled lives. The sage, however, never spoke in loud, booming tones. His voice was soft, almost like a whisper. Despite the quietness of his speech, everyone who listened to him felt as though they had been touched by a profound truth. One day, a young man came to the sage, his heart burdened with questions. He had been struggling with anger, frustration, and confusion. He had tried to meditate and reflect on his problems, but nothing seemed to bring him peace. When he approached the sage, he was full of questions, hoping to find answers that would alleviate his inner turmoil. The sage welcomed the young man with a gentle smile and invited him to sit by the riverbank. After a moment of silence, the young man began to speak, his words coming rapidly as he poured out his frustrations. "Master," he said, "I am constantly angry. I cannot seem to control my emotions. I feel so lost, so confused. How can I find peace within myself?" The sage listened quietly, his eyes filled with understanding. He did not interrupt the young man, but simply allowed him to speak. After the young man finished, the sage took a deep breath, and then in a soft voice he said, "You speak quickly with urgency in your words, but listen to the rhythm of your breath. It is hurried, uneven. Your breath reflects the chaos in your mind." The young man was taken aback. "What do you mean?" he asked. "I don't understand." The sage gently placed his hand on his chest, where his own breath could be heard slowing down. "Watch," he said. "When I breathe slowly, deeply, my mind becomes still. It is the same with words. When we speak with breath that is steady, our words carry calmness. When we rush, when our breath is shallow, our words carry the same energy, rushed, anxious, full of unrest." The young man watched intently, noticing the difference in the sage's breathing. The sage's words were not loud or forceful, but there was a weight to them, a depth that seemed to sink into the young man's heart. "Now," the sage continued, "I will teach you how to control your breath. Breathe in deeply, filling your lungs with air. Let your breath flow slowly and gently, filling your body with calmness. As you breathe in, feel the tension leave your body. As you breathe out, release the anger, the frustration, the confusion." The young man followed the sage's guidance, taking slow, deep breaths. With each breath, he felt his body begin to relax. His mind, once clouded with turmoil, began to clear, and he noticed a sense of peace beginning to settle within him. The sage smiled, his voice still gentle. "This is the power of breath. When you are angry or anxious, pay attention to your breath. Slow it down. Bring it into balance. The rhythm of your breath can influence the rhythm of your mind." The young man felt a sense of profound realization wash over him. He had been so focused on his thoughts, so caught up in the noise of his mind, that he had not noticed how his breath was mirroring that chaos. He understood now that by calming his breath, he could also calm his mind. As you reflect on this story, consider the role that breath and voice play in your own life. How often do you pay attention to the quality of your breath? Most of us go through our days without truly noticing how we breathe. It's something so automatic something we take for granted, yet the way we breathe can have a profound effect on our emotional state, our mindset, and our overall well-being. Think about a time when you were feeling stressed or overwhelmed. Did you notice how your breath became shallow, quick, or uneven? Often, when we are under stress, our breath becomes a reflection of our anxious thoughts and feelings. Our bodies unconsciously react to the emotional turmoil we are experiencing, causing our breath to speed up and become shallow, a natural but often unnoticed response to stress. This rapid, shallow breathing signals to our body and mind that something is wrong, which can exacerbate feelings of anxiety or fear. But when we are calm, when we are at peace, how does our breath change? It slows down, deepens, and becomes more even. When we breathe slowly and steadily, it signals to our nervous system that we are safe and at ease. It is no coincidence that deep breathing is a core practice in many mindfulness and meditation techniques. The breath is not just a physical process. It is a bridge between our body and our emotions, a powerful tool that can help us regulate our internal states. The sage's lesson to the young man about the breath teaches us that by simply becoming aware of our breath, we can gain control over our emotional responses and bring ourselves back into balance. Just as a still breath leads to a still mind, a chaotic, uneven breath often leads to a chaotic, overwhelmed mind. How many times do we find ourselves caught in a spiral of anxiety or frustration, only to realize that our breath has become shallow and rapid? The very thing that can help us find peace has been forgotten in the storm of our thoughts. It is at these moments that we must remember the sage's teaching, that our breath is a reflection of our mental and emotional state, and by consciously slowing and deepening our breath, we can help bring our entire being into a more grounded, centered place. This simple yet powerful practice of breath awareness can be a lifeline in moments of stress or tension. It can help break the cycle of anxiety and bring us back into the present moment, where we can find the calm and clarity we seek. Now think about your own experiences with voice. How do you speak when you are anxious, upset, or excited? Is your voice sharp, fast, or hesitant? Or do you notice a rhythm to your voice, a steadiness that mirrors the calm within you? Like breath, the voice carries the energy of our emotions. The tone, volume, and pace of our voice are often reflections of our internal states. When we are calm and at ease, our voice tends to flow gently with a steady rhythm. But when we are overwhelmed or agitated, our voice may become higher in pitch, faster in pace, or more forceful in its delivery. The way we speak can profoundly affect how others perceive us and how we interact with the world around us. When our voice is hurried, frantic, or tense, it can convey a sense of urgency or discomfort, and this energy can be picked up by those around us. But when we speak slowly, softly, and with intention, our voice communicates calmness and assurance. This is why the sage's voice, though soft and gentle, had such a powerful impact on the young man. The steady, calm rhythm of his speech not only conveyed wisdom, but it also created an atmosphere of peace and tranquility. In the same way, when we choose to speak with a slow, steady rhythm, we can invite others to feel the same sense of peace and presence. The next time you find yourself in a moment of stress or anxiety, try to observe your breath. Is it shallow or fast? Can you feel the tension in your body as you breathe in rapid, shallow bursts? When you notice this, try to slow your breath down. Taking long, deep inhales and exhales, feel the air fill your lungs, expanding your chest, and as you exhale, let go of the tension in your body. With each breath, let your mind become more calm and clear. Notice how the deepening of your breath also affects the energy of your voice. As your breath slows and deepens, your voice will naturally follow. You may notice that your voice becomes softer, slower, and more grounded, and in doing so, the energy you radiate becomes one of calm assurance. By paying attention to your breath and the quality of your voice, you can regulate your emotional state and navigate challenging situations with greater ease and clarity. The breath is always with us, and it is a powerful tool for returning to a place of peace, no matter what external circumstances we may be facing. Similarly, our voice is an instrument we can use to express not only our thoughts, but our emotional state. When we speak from a place of calm, others are more likely to feel that calmness, and we can create an environment of peace and understanding through our words and the way we say them. Let's take a moment now to practice this awareness of breath and voice. Find a comfortable position where you can sit or lie down. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose, allowing your lungs to fill completely. Hold your breath for a moment, and then slowly exhale through your mouth, releasing any tension you may be holding in your body. As you continue to breathe deeply, bring your attention to the quality of your breath. Is it slow and calm, or is it fast and shallow? As you inhale, feel the air filling your body with peace and serenity. As you exhale, allow any stress, discomfort, or tension to leave your body. Now take a moment to bring your awareness to your voice. Speak gently, quietly, and slowly. Notice how your voice feels when you are calm and grounded. Is it soft and steady? Is there a rhythm to it? Pay attention to how your voice shifts as you deepen your breath and relax your body. Do you notice a difference in the way your voice sounds when it comes from a place of calm and balance? Allow yourself to speak slowly and intentionally, letting each word flow gently with mindfulness and care. This practice is a simple but powerful tool for bringing calmness to your mind and body. By focusing on your breath and allowing your voice to reflect your inner peace, you can navigate even the most challenging situations with a sense of calm and clarity. This practice is not just about controlling your breath or voice. It's about tuning into the energy you are radiating and choosing to cultivate peace, no matter what is happening around you. As we continue on our journey, let us carry with us the wisdom of the sage, the wisdom of slowing down, of being present with our breath, and of speaking with intention. By integrating these practices into our daily lives, we can create a space of peace and understanding for ourselves and for those around us. Now, let's move forward into our next story, where we will explore the importance of stillness and silence, how the quiet moments can reveal deep insights and understanding. In a world that is often fast-paced, noisy, and filled with constant stimulation, we sometimes forget that the quietest moments, those filled with stillness, can be the most revealing. In silence, we allow ourselves to hear what cannot be heard in words, to see what cannot be seen through the eyes, and to feel what is beyond touch. Stillness is not an absence, but a presence, a powerful force that speaks in ways that words, gestures, and sounds cannot. Let me share with you a story that will guide us deeper into this silent, still realm of communication. Once in a remote monastery beside a flowing river, there lived a revered monk known for his deep wisdom and peaceful nature. He was renowned throughout the land, not for his many words, but for his profound silence. It was said that when the monk spoke, the entire monastery would listen, for his words were few and chosen with great care. However, it was his presence, his silence, that truly captivated those who came to seek his guidance. One day, a young man arrived at the monastery eager to learn from the wise monk. He had heard stories of the monk's incredible insights and had traveled many miles hoping to find answers to the many questions that burdened his heart. The young man approached the monk and asked, "Master, I seek knowledge. I wish to understand the mysteries of life and gain the wisdom that will lead me to peace." The monk looked at him with gentle eyes and motioned for him to follow. He led the young man to the banks of the river that flowed next to the monastery. The monk sat down beside the water, his body still, his gaze focused on the movement of the river. "Master," the young man said, his impatience growing, "I have traveled so far to find answers, and yet you remain silent. Why do you not speak to me?" The monk did not answer right away. He simply sat, his presence filled with calmness and stillness, watching the river flow. After a long while, the monk finally spoke in a soft, steady voice. "Look at the river. See how it moves with grace, flowing effortlessly, carrying everything along its path. It does not force its movement. It simply is. It does not rush or hurry. It flows naturally in its own time." The young man was still watching the water as it flowed past. "But Master," he said, "how can I learn from the river if it does not speak? How can I understand what it is teaching?" The monk smiled and replied, "The river does not need to speak for its movement. Its stillness, its flow communicate everything it needs to. The same is true for us. In silence and stillness, we often learn more than we could through words. Silence is not an absence, it is a presence. It is through stillness that we hear the deeper truths within ourselves and in the world around us. In the quiet, we find wisdom. The river teaches us that to be still, to be present, is to know the world as it truly is." The young man sat in silence, contemplating the monk's words. He watched the river flow for hours, allowing the stillness to wash over him. In the quiet of that moment, something began to shift within him. He realized that the answers he sought were not found in a rush of words, but in the stillness of his own heart. As the river flowed steadily, so did his mind begin to quiet. The burden of his questions began to fade, replaced by a deep sense of peace that he had not known before. As you reflect on this story, ask yourself, how often do I seek answers through words, through actions, or through the noise around me? How often do I sit in stillness and silence and allow myself to listen to the quiet wisdom that resides within? In our daily lives, it is easy to become overwhelmed by the constant flow of information, the noise of our thoughts, and the distractions of the world. We are often conditioned to believe that answers must come quickly through action or explanation, but the true wisdom lies in stillness. Think about a time when you experienced a moment of quiet, of stillness. How did it make you feel? Were you able to listen to the deeper parts of yourself? Did you sense a peace that transcended the noise and rush of daily life? Stillness is not simply the absence of sound. It is a state of being present, of being fully engaged with the moment without distraction. When we allow ourselves to sit in this stillness, we are able to hear what is beneath the surface, to see what is not immediately apparent, and to feel the deeper connections between ourselves and the world around us. The next time you find yourself caught in the noise of life, whether it's physical noise or the mental chatter in your mind, try to find a moment of stillness. Take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, and just be. Allow yourself to feel the quiet presence of the moment. Notice what arises within you, perhaps a deeper sense of peace, a greater awareness, or an insight that has been waiting for you all along. In stillness, we are able to hear the truths that words cannot express. It is in these moments of quiet reflection that we find our true center and discover the wisdom that lies hidden within us. Now let's take a moment to practice this stillness and silence. Find a comfortable place where you can sit quietly and relax. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. As you breathe in, feel your body relax, and as you exhale, release any tension you may be holding. Allow yourself to settle into the present moment, letting go of any distractions. For the next few minutes, simply sit in stillness. Do not try to think, do not try to do anything. Just be. Notice the sensations in your body, the rhythm of your breath, the sounds around you, and the stillness within. If your mind begins to wander, gently bring your focus back to your breath, to the present moment. As you sit in silence, observe how your body feels, how your mind responds, and what arises within you. In stillness, you may find that deeper insights begin to emerge, or perhaps a sense of calm and peace will wash over you. By practicing stillness regularly, you will begin to cultivate a deeper sense of presence, allowing you to navigate the challenges of life with greater ease and clarity. As we move forward, let us carry with us the wisdom of the silent monk, the wisdom that in stillness we find the answers that we seek. Through silence, we connect to the deeper truths of the world and of ourselves. Now let us continue on our journey as we move forward into the next story, where we will explore the power of space and distance in communication, and how the physical space between us can reveal profound truths. Space, whether close or far open or confined, can communicate just as powerfully as words, eyes, or body language. The distance between us and others reflects a great deal about our relationship with them, our comfort levels, and our emotional boundaries. Just as breath and body language convey our inner state, the space we maintain in our interactions can reveal unspoken messages about how we relate to the person in front of us. Let me share a story that sheds light on the power of space and how it communicates much more than we may realize. In a small village at the foot of a mountain, there were two monks who traveled together frequently to teach and meditate. They had been companions for many years and shared a bond of deep respect and understanding. One day, as they made their way to a neighboring village, they came upon a small, narrow bridge that crossed a swift-moving river. As they approached, they noticed a woman standing by the bridge, looking troubled. She was clearly in distress, standing at the edge and staring at the water below. The older monk, always quick to offer help, approached the woman and asked, "Is there something troubling you? Can we assist you in any way?" The woman replied, "I need to cross this bridge, but I'm afraid of the water below. It looks so deep and dangerous. I cannot bring myself to step onto the bridge." The older monk immediately stepped closer to her and offered his hand. "I will help you," he said. "You need not be afraid. The bridge is safe, and I will guide you across." However, the younger monk, who had been standing a few paces behind, remained silent. He watched the interaction, observing the space between the two monks and the woman. The older monk had moved closer to the woman, offering comfort and assistance. The younger monk, sensing something deeper in the interaction, remained at a slight distance, quietly watching, waiting to see what would unfold. After the woman gratefully accepted the older monk's assistance and crossed the bridge, she turned back and thanked them both for their kindness. The two monks continued their journey in silence, but after a while, the younger monk spoke. "Master," he said, "I noticed that when you helped the woman, you stepped very close to her, offering your hand, but I remained a little farther back. Why did you move so close to her?" The older monk, who had sensed the young monk's curiosity, smiled and replied, "I moved closer because she needed my help. She was afraid and I could feel her fear. By stepping closer, I offered her the reassurance that I would be there for her. My proximity to her was an unspoken promise that I would guide her safely. But you, my young friend, kept your distance. Why?" The younger monk thought for a moment before responding. I did not want to invade her space. I thought that if I moved too close, it might make her feel uncomfortable. So I stayed back, keeping a respectful distance. The older monk nodded. And that my young one is the beauty of space. In some situations, proximity is a sign of compassion and support. In others, distance is a form of respect. The space we maintain between ourselves and others speaks volumes about how we see them and how they see us. Sometimes a little distance is necessary to respect someone's boundaries, and other times a little closeness is needed to offer comfort or guidance. The younger monk reflected on the older monk's words. He had learned that space, like silence, is a language of its own. It can convey warmth and support, or it can maintain boundaries and respect. By being mindful of the space between us, we can communicate not just our intention, but our understanding and empathy for the other person. As you reflect on this story, think about the space you maintain in your interactions. How do you relate to others through physical space? How do you feel when someone stands too close to you, or when they stand too far away? Do you respect others' personal space, and do you communicate your own boundaries clearly? The space between us is not merely a physical distance. It is a reflection of our emotional connection, our comfort, and our respect for one another's needs. When we are close to someone physically or emotionally, it can signify intimacy, trust, and a willingness to share. But when we keep distance, it can be a sign of caution, respect for personal space, or the need for boundaries. In some cases, the distance we create is necessary for our own emotional well-being, while in other situations, moving closer can foster connection and understanding. Think about your recent interactions with people, family, friends, co-workers, or even strangers. How did you navigate the space between you? Were you aware of the distance you were maintaining? And how did that impact the interaction? Were you conscious of their space, or did you inadvertently make them feel uncomfortable by standing too close or too far away? In what ways can you be more mindful of the space between you and others? How can this awareness help you build better relationships, respect personal boundaries, and communicate more effectively? Now let's take a moment to practice mindfulness of space. Find a quiet space where you can sit comfortably and relax. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. As you breathe in, imagine expanding your personal space, creating a sense of openness and comfort around you. As you exhale, allow any tension or discomfort to release, letting go of any feelings of being cramped or confined. Visualize the space around you as an extension of your own body, filled with peace and calm. Now think about your interactions with others. Imagine a recent conversation or situation where you were close to someone either physically or emotionally. How did the space between you feel? Did you feel comfortable, or did you feel crowded or distant? How did the other person respond to the space you maintained? Were they at ease, or did they seem uncomfortable? Reflect on how the physical distance in that interaction either enhanced or hindered the connection. As you move through your day, pay attention to the space you maintain with others. Are you mindful of their comfort zone? Do you respect their boundaries, or do you unknowingly encroach on their personal space? Use this practice to increase your awareness of how space communicates your intentions and your understanding of the other person's needs. The space we share with others has the potential to create deep connections or to create distance. By becoming more conscious of how we use this space, whether through proximity or distance, we can foster stronger relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. As we continue on this journey, let us carry with us the wisdom of the monks and the understanding of space as a form of communication. By being mindful of the distance we maintain and the proximity we offer, we can navigate our interactions with greater empathy and awareness. Let's now move forward into the final story of our journey tonight, where we will explore the art of listening with compassion and how truly hearing others can unlock the deepest connections and insights. In a small village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a wise elder who was known for her deep understanding of human nature. People came from far and wide to seek her counsel, and it was said that when they left her presence, they felt lighter, more at peace, and deeply understood. What made her so special was not only her wisdom, but her ability to listen. She had a unique gift for truly hearing others, and her listening was a form of healing in itself. One day a young man arrived in the village burdened with heavy grief. He had recently lost his beloved father, and the weight of his sorrow had made him feel isolated and disconnected from the world. He had tried speaking to others about his pain, but no one seemed to truly understand. His words were met with sympathy, but he still felt as though no one could truly grasp the depth of his heartache. Upon hearing about the elder's reputation for listening, the young man made his way to her home. He was skeptical, but hopeful that she might be the one to offer him some relief from his grief. When he arrived, the elder welcomed him warmly and invited him to sit with her in the quiet of her garden. For a long time, the young man spoke of his pain, of his father's death, of his sense of loss, and of the emptiness that now filled his days. He spoke quickly, his voice shaking with emotion, his words tumbling out in a rush. Yet the elder did not interrupt. She did not offer advice or try to fix his sorrow. She simply sat there, listening. Her eyes were kind and full of understanding, her posture relaxed and open. As the young man spoke, he began to feel a sense of calm wash over him. It was as if her presence, her undivided attention, was giving him permission to fully express his grief without fear of judgment or dismissal. After some time, the young man grew quieter, his words slowing down. He realized that despite the pain, he felt lighter. He had said everything he needed to say. And in the act of being truly listened to, he had begun to process his emotions. The elder, sensing that he was finished, gently spoke. "You have carried this grief in your heart for so long," she said, her voice soft and soothing. "But in order to heal, you must first allow yourself to feel it fully. Grief is not something to be fixed or avoided. It is something to be held with compassion, for it is a reflection of the love you had. You do not need to rush through it. You only need to be with it, to listen to it, and to allow it to teach you what it needs to." The young man was deeply moved. He had never felt so truly understood, so deeply heard. It was as if in that moment the elder had not only listened to his words, but had also listened to his soul. Her compassionate presence had given him the space to open up and to process his grief, and in doing so, she had provided him with a kind of healing that words alone could not have offered. As you reflect on this story, ask yourself, how often do I listen to others with full presence and compassion? When someone shares their struggles or emotions with me, do I truly hear them, or do I simply wait for my turn to speak? Compassionate listening is a gift we can give to others, but it is also a gift we give to ourselves. When we listen deeply and without judgment, we create a space of understanding and empathy that allows others to feel safe and supported. This deep, compassionate listening is not about offering solutions or advice. It is about being fully present with someone and honoring their experience. Think about your recent interactions with others, whether it's a family member, a friend, or even a colleague. How often have you truly listened to them, not just with your ears, but with your heart? How often have you allowed yourself to be present in the moment, letting go of your own thoughts and distractions in order to hear what they are truly saying? It is easy to get caught up in our own concerns, or to think that we need to offer solutions. But sometimes, the most healing thing we can do is to simply listen with compassion. The next time someone speaks to you about their struggles or emotions, try to listen with full presence. Give them your undivided attention without judgment or interruption. Allow them the space to share their feelings and offer them your presence as a form of support. Notice how this shift in your approach to listening changes the quality of the interaction. Do you feel more connected to the other person? Do they seem to feel more heard and understood? Listening with compassion can deepen our relationships and create a sense of emotional safety and trust. Now let's take a moment to practice compassionate listening. Find a partner or sit alone in a quiet space where you can reflect. If you have someone with you, invite them to share something on their mind, whether it's a challenge they are facing or a feeling they are experiencing. Your task is to listen without interrupting, without offering advice, and without preparing your response while they speak. Simply be present with them, offering your full attention and empathy. As they speak, notice how your body feels. Are you holding any tension in your shoulders, neck, or jaw? Can you soften these areas as you listen? If you are practicing alone, reflect on a recent conversation where you felt that the other person needed to be heard. Imagine yourself in their shoes and listen to their words in your mind. What do you think they truly wanted to express beyond the surface of their words? Allow yourself to feel the emotion behind their message and listen with your heart as well as your ears. This practice will help you develop the ability to listen deeply, to hold space for others without judgment, and to offer your presence as a source of support. Compassionate listening is one of the most powerful ways we can connect with others and offer them the space to be heard and understood. By practicing this art of listening, we can build stronger, more meaningful relationships and create an environment of empathy and trust. As we continue on our journey, let us carry with us the wisdom of the wise listener who taught us that listening with compassion can heal not only others, but also ourselves. Through this practice, we can create deeper connections and find the insights we need to navigate the complexities of life. Now let us move forward into our next story, where we will explore how true silence and deep reflection can reveal the wisdom of our inner selves. As we near the end of this journey, let us reflect on the powerful lessons we have learned about nonverbal communication. Throughout our time together, we've explored how our body, breath, eyes, voice, facial expressions, and even the space between us convey far more than words ever could. The unspoken language that we share with others carries profound meaning that transcends the limitations of spoken language and reveals deeper truths about our relationships, our emotional states, and our connection to the world around us. From the blind brother who showed us that perception goes beyond sight to the silent monk who taught us that wisdom often arises in stillness. We have learned that true understanding does not always come from what is said, but from how we are present in each moment. Our eyes, our breath, our voice, and even the space we share with others communicate messages that our conscious minds may not fully grasp, but our hearts and spirits understand. In this nonverbal language, we find a richer, more profound way of connecting with others, one that is not limited by words, but expands into the realm of empathy, mindfulness, and presence. Through each story, we have been reminded that the wisdom we seek is not always found in external sources or in the noise of the world. It is often found in the quiet moments, the subtle shifts, and the stillness within us. By becoming more mindful of the nonverbal signals we send and receive, we can create deeper connections, build more meaningful relationships, and cultivate greater peace within ourselves. As we move forward in our lives, let us embrace the wisdom of nonverbal awareness. Let us become more conscious of the ways in which our bodies, our breath, our voices, and our presence communicate with others. Let us listen with more than just our ears, but with our hearts, our eyes, and our full attention. By doing so, we can deepen our understanding of others, foster greater empathy, and create a more harmonious world where connection and compassion thrive. The next time you find yourself in conversation or interaction with someone, take a moment to pause and observe the space between you. What does the distance or proximity between you reveal about your connection? What does the tone of your voice, the depth of your breath, and the expression on your face communicate to the other person? Are you truly present, listening deeply and mindfully? In this awareness, you will discover new ways to connect with others that go beyond words and touch the essence of their being. We have learned that wisdom does not always come from speaking or hearing. It comes from being present, from listening with full attention, and from allowing ourselves to embrace the quiet moments where deeper truths can arise. In our fast-paced world, filled with noise and distraction, let us remember the power of silence, of stillness, and of being fully present in the moment. As we close this journey, let us carry with us the understanding that true communication goes beyond the spoken word. By embracing non-verbal awareness, we open ourselves to a richer, more profound way of connecting with others, creating a world where compassion, understanding, and peace can flourish. In the end, the most powerful form of communication is not the words we speak, but the presence we offer to others. It is in our silent gaze, our attentive listening, our calming breath, and our mindful gestures that we reveal the deepest truths of who we are. By cultivating nonverbal awareness in our daily lives, we can build stronger, more meaningful connections, foster compassion, and create spaces of understanding and healing. This journey is not just about learning to understand others. It is about understanding ourselves more deeply, embracing the wisdom that lies within, and sharing that wisdom with the world. Sweet dreams.